Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of the best-selling Fearless Tarot and Tarot in Love, Consulting the Cards and Matters of the Heart. And if you find that my tarot descriptions really resonate with you, you're going to get a lot out of those books with your own readings. So do check those out online. It is time for this week's Oracle reveal. So, yesterday on Instagram, I placed up a photo of three different animals, and I asked you to use your intuition and ask yourself which animal's calling to you, because that animal has your message. And the animals were the wolf, the pig, and then also the dolphin. So if you're just joining me now, ask yourself which animal's calling to you. It doesn't have to be your favorite animal, it just has to be the one that's getting stuck in your head this week, because that animal has your message. So for those of you who picked the wolf spirit, this card says turn knowledge into wisdom. And I think what Wolf is teaching you is that there is a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is the accumulation of information, it could be useless facts, but wisdom is something that's experienced. And wisdom is something that gives you depth because of your own past, your own personal experiences. It gives you a unique insight into any situation based on what's going on within your own personal history and how you're reacting to the present. I feel for the wolf this next week, there's going to be a lot that you're getting straight that has to come from really looking at your personal situation through the lens of your personal experience. And also seeing not only the blessings of that, but also the limitations of that. Sometimes we don't think things are possible to us because we've never experienced them before or we've never known another reality. And I think the wolf is saying it's important that you know the difference between just information coming at you and something that you can really tie into your personal experience. First card for Wolf is where it's best to place your focus this next week, and we see Lady Justice. And justice is flanked by two gray pillars, which is the color of neutrality. And when justice comes up, she could indicate that there's a situation that you're needing to either detach from or to look at with a little bit more clarity right now without getting stuck in your feelings too much. Justice is also a dispassionate card. So, this could be a time where you're acknowledging if you've been running too hot or too cold. It might be a time when you're really just looking at the facts right now, not letting that emotional trigger really skew how you're looking at something. And finally, justice is the archetype of truth. And what she really tells you is that it's time to trust in your own truth. It's time to trust what you know to be right for you. This is not a time to really go to other people for what their opinion of your situation is. I think with that wolf spirit, that teacher, and then also the justice card, there's a sense that you're needing to really look at what the facts are for you and then act accordingly. Second card after justice is going to be advice from your inner wisdom. And this is the Four of Cups, which shows the figure who's not open. His arms are crossed, his legs are crossed. He's worried about his problems. He's thinking about the past. He's freaking out about the future. And he's completely not present. He's also not open to accepting the gift that's offered to him right in front of his nose. He can't even see it. And I get this feeling for Wolf. It's like you can't receive the thing that you most want if you can't even see yourself having it, if it doesn't feel normal or even realistic for you. So, the challenge for you, I think, Wolf, this next week is to look at the ways of which you can get acclimated to that thing that you're desiring the most. It might be a time to put yourself in the mindset or in the environment where that kind of success can happen. It's time to make that your new normal. And then finally, we have the mythic archetype that's going to help you. And you get Heracles or Hercules. He's the archetype of strength. And what he's saying is that you're a lot stronger than you think. But I also feel from Heracles that the fortune favors the bold and that you need to name it to claim it. You need to be honest with yourself about what you want. And once you can declare that for yourself, you can really take action on it and overcome all the labors in front of you and still succeed. Next, we're going to go into the pig spirit, and this card says use your mind wisely. And despite a lot of the bad press the pig gets, it's actually a very intelligent animal. The pig could also be indicating that this is going to be a time where you're looking outside of your current boundaries. On this particular card, I like how the artist has included these wing-like figures or objects on the pig, and it's like when pigs have wings. I feel like what you're needing to understand is that what you're hoping for doesn't need to wait until pigs fly to actually come into being. but instead you might need to have a little bit more imagination, and you might need to apply your mind in a more cunning way in order to accomplish what you're looking for. First card for the pig is where it's best to place your focus. And we got the Nine of Swords, which is long associated with our inner shadow. The figure on the Nine of Swords is suffering. He can't sleep. He's overrun in his mind by shadows, worst case scenarios. For me, the Nine of Swords is one of the most insidious cards in the tarot, not because it says something terrible is going to happen to you, but because it says that the mental filter that you're looking at your life through is distorted. It's skewed. It's not based in truth. And I find the greatest antidote for the suffering that the Nine of Swords can cause, that ruminating, that worry, that freaking out and isolation, the best antidote for that is sunlight. It is talking about the fear. It's also reaching out for support, a second opinion, or for somebody else's take on your situation. And so I just feel with that Nine of Swords, this is a time that you want to use your mind wisely, not by just trusting whatever thought randomly comes in, but really putting it under some scrutiny and really asking yourself, is this really true or real for me? Next, we have advice from your inner wisdom. And we get the Six of Cups for the pig. And the Six of Cups is long associated with the past. And not just the traumatic past. A lot of time we think of the past and we think it's something bad, or we remember all the awful times. The Six of Cups tells you to recall when you're at your best, when you're happiest, when you're most powerful, when you're in your bliss. And this could be a time when you're really needing to return to that fragmented, lost part of yourself that you might have left down the road a while back, and turn around and pick that piece of yourself up again. Because just because you're experiencing something shadowy now doesn't mean that it's all like that. And then finally, we have the mythic archetype that's going to help you. And we get Themis, who's an archetype of justice, much like we saw the justice card in the last animal of the wolf. Themis is about the natural order of things. She tells you about the shadow, and she tells you about the light. She tells you about the difficult things of your past, but also the things that have made you stronger. And so you don't want to dismiss whole swaths of your experience by saying, well, that was good and this is bad, because everything is teaching you something. And then finally, we got the Dolphin spirit. And this card says, this and that are true. And Dolphin really guides us away from all or nothing thinking. Much like I was just saying with Themis, it's all bad or it's all good. It's never that. There's always nuance. Also, the dolphin could indicate that even though you're dealing with a real situation that might feel challenging or difficult, you don't want to lose your sense of playfulness or your ability to jump over the obstacle or leap out of the waters of your own emotional experience. First card for Dolphin is where it's best to place your focus. And much like the Dolphin, we get the Three of Cups, which is always a card of joy. It's saying find where the joy is in your life, and it will eradicate all the pain. Also, the Three of Cups could tell you that this is a time to be charismatic and chatty, getting out there with people, or even just elevating the energy around you by being conscious of what kind of baggage are you carrying with you on your path. Is this bringing you and other people down? Maybe it's time to lighten up yourself so that the environment around you is also made lighter. Next is going to be advice from your inner wisdom if you pick the Dolphin. And we get the Hierophant card. And not only is he a teacher in the tarot who really teaches us how to get back in touch with the pathway toward the sacred for ourselves again, but when he's coupled with that charismatic Three of Cups with the Three Graces, I feel like you need to have faith in your own charisma, your own gifts. You might also need to have faith in what you are following that brings you joy. The Hierophant's always about faith. He's also a figure who will tell you to look for those signs, signals, omens, messages that come from spirit. Spirit is interacting with you all the time. It's just sometimes we have blinders on and we're just not noticing the message. So you might want to pay attention to the rustle of leaves on your walk or a certain animal that crosses your path, because there's going to be a message in there for you. And then finally, the mythic archetype that's going to help you is Mnemosyne, who is the goddess of memory. And she's really connected to that Six of Cups energy I was talking about just earlier. I almost feel like all the animals have something to teach all of us this week. They're all interconnected. And this might be a time when we're really looking at the patterns for our personal inspiration and finding our way through the impasse of our difficulties by looking at how it all links up. And that is this week's Oracle. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you enjoy my reading style, you'll absolutely love a one on one reading with me. You can go to elliotoracle.com for that. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. So take care.